Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Kylie Ryan. Answer, guilty. Dated this 12th day of May, 2023, signed by the presiding officer.
Again, Lori Vallow found guilty on absolutely all charges. Let's go live to outside the Ada County Courthouse right now.
But there were people that broke down in tears. There were people crying outside of the courtroom.
Papa, wish you were here in other circumstances.
Kohberger made his first court appearance in Idaho this morning. And Morgan, we learned a lot today.
Yeah, we did, Doug. We learned a lot of information about why investigators believe that Brian Kohberger is the one who committed these 4 heinous murders on University of Idaho students Kaylee Gonsalves, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen.
It's comforting for me because that's kind of how you envision it, you know, and how you hope that it is. It's just so real. That up there is Kaylee and Maddie.
Best friends, Kaylee and Maddie's ashes are side by side. Their parents say they would want it that way.
Right now, Kaylee's over here, Maddie's here.
How we handled that as a fraternity, it wasn't one person handling the situation. We handled it as a brotherhood, and I think that really helped us get through.
They each shared happy memories of Ethan.
He's the coolest guy you'll ever meet.
We were blessed to spend the summer with Xana. The most important thing I think that people should know is that Ethan was exactly where he wanted to be. We say in our family he was in the right place at the wrong time. And, you know, you just have to live with that.
Ethan's girlfriend, Xana Kernodle, lived at the King Road house.
They were very sweet together. That's where he stayed most nights. We all knew it. He's a college kid who was in love.
Idaho Congressman Mike Simpson spent years pitching answers.
If you're a dairyman or a cattle rancher, those cows need to be milked every day. It's not seasonal. I heard the other night 6,000 openings in the dairy industry, and they had 3 applicants that were Americans for those 6,000 jobs.
Is that in Idaho specifically?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a huge issue.
But drawing little interest in a solution. Out of sight, out of mind. But the Idaho Dairymen's Association has nothing to hide.
Yeah, 90% of our workforce is foreign born, and we're sitting without a visa program, so that's going to tell you a lot about the legal status of our average dairy worker.
Pues yo pienso que si nos hubieran más como humanos, pues sería mejor. Que tuviéramos derechos, algo así.
Bray says she met her ex-boyfriend about 5 years ago, but the man Bray trusted most shattered that trust when he began trafficking her 4 months into their relationship.
It would start with a fight of, well, you're not doing your part to get money to help take care of us. I was like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm trying to get a job. And he's like, well, that's not going to make it. You've got to do something now. And he goes, the best way for you to do that is to have sex with somebody.
Bray is not alone. Recent Idaho State Police data shows law enforcement agencies reported 36 human trafficking offenses in Idaho in 2022, a 414% increase from the previous year.
Most organizations aren't reporting it.
Still, many advocates, like Idaho Anti-Trafficking Coalition Executive Director Jennifer Zielinski, say it's a much bigger problem than those numbers portray.
We have an entire population that is under-identified, under-reported, and funneling through our systems punitively.
More than 100 Idaho law enforcement agencies sent in data for ISP's 2022 crime report. But that report shows very few agencies tracked human trafficking. The Nampa Police Department accounted for 26 of the 36 reported offenses. In contrast, there was only 1 reported case in Ada County.
What specifically would you change in order to meet the needs of folks who felt like they were left out?
One of the big parts is notification. You know, when I wanted to paint the color of my house the same color last year, I had to get 5 residents to approve it. You don't need that.
This rail will go to right here.
Out of tragedy, Steve Eimers has become an expert.
Nothing prepares you for the shock and horror of losing your child.
On November 1st, 2016, his 17-year-old daughter Hannah died when she hit the end of a guardrail in Tennessee. The guardrail speared her car and her.
The second rail was installed upside down and backwards. And as I began seeing this, and I saw it again and again, I realized this is really severe.
This is considered Frankenstein, with different guardrails installed together. As you can see, this first one has slots. The second one is a generic guardrail without slots. This is not consistent with how manufacturers say these guardrails need to be installed. Several miles west on I-84 from that guardrail sits one of the worst Frankenstein guardrails Eimers has ever seen.
When somebody can make that many mistakes, we are dealing with a lack of inspections, a lack of oversight from ITD.
Idaho Transportation Department said if not for you and for our story that we did, they wouldn't have known about all of these issues. So how does that make you feel?
It doesn't make it worth it, but it brings more meaning to what happened.
Both Eimers and I brought the issue of Frankenstein guardrail end terminals to the Idaho Transportation Department.
We want to fix it, and we want to make sure that we fix it right.
ITD promised they'd act.
We made a commitment that we wanted to make sure that we were checking every single end terminal because we are serious about safety.
ITD Public Information Officer John Tomlinson says they're so serious, they inspected all of Idaho's 12,000 guardrail end terminals over the past 6 months.
We were really excited.
But that excitement turned into fear after Kayla's 20-week anatomy scan.
We found out that there were several fetal anomalies, one being his pretty severe heart defect.
Based on what they were saying, it wasn't going to be operable.
We only had one choice here, which was to go full term and have him, and then him potentially, obviously he wouldn't survive, like he may survive birth. They weren't able to tell us whether he would or not. And if he did, they could give him some palliative care. But we just didn't think that that was right and didn't want him to feel pain.
Kayla says she was also at high risk for preeclampsia, a pregnancy complication that can cause high blood pressure and other dangerous conditions.
I felt like I was putting myself at risk too.
So the couple decided to end the pregnancy and induce Brooks early. But under Idaho's abortion laws, Kayla couldn't get that care in state.
My care team here couldn't do anything for me.
At 21 weeks, they went to Washington State for the procedure.
We decided it would probably be better to have a termination for medical reasons. We also really wanted to meet him. So I was induced and gave birth to him.
Smack in the middle of Washington County, at the edge of the valley for which it's named, sits Midvale, Idaho, a place where fewer than 200 people and a lot of cows call home. Agriculture's roots run deep here, as does the high schools, which has served the community since 1911. There isn't much to it, just 90 lockers, a handful of classrooms, and 2 state title banners won in the last 3 years. It also has one of the smallest graduating classes in southern Idaho. So we sat down with half of them.
I feel like that's so awkward.
To ask a few questions.
Do I just look forward?
About where they've been.
Just a little.
And where they're going.
I don't like this.
Beginning with, what's it like?
I've never done this before, so.
Living in such a small town.
Right. If you have missing children, people will be looking for them,
Yes.
period.
But not their own mother, clearly, because as we talked about, as you guys probably discussed in your podcast last week, it was Kay Woodcock that raised the flag about the kids missing. It was never Lori.
Right.
Lori didn't go to the media, the Woodcocks did. Lori didn't put out a reward, the Woodcocks did. So,
and in fact, wouldn't even answer questions, and that was what led ultimately to her initial arrest.
Yes.
Was because she wouldn't answer.
Yes.
Wouldn't answer questions, wouldn't produce the children, and wouldn't help law enforcement, wouldn't cooperate, and so
and fled.
Yeah, the exact opposite of what one would expect from a mother.
To honor America's defenders, the ones who earned and deserved our reverence, recognition, and respect. Where we remember the countless brave men and women who died in service to our country.
This time of year, Boise is bursting at the seams with a certain spirit. Its personality ready for liftoff. Its beauty effortlessly rising to the top. Still, it can be hard to ignore the feeling this flame ignites. Instincts, woven into the lives of anyone who has ever experienced a single football season on the blue. As the color of the foothills begins to fade, the flow of the river begins to fall, signaling one last lucky peek at summer. For 9 months out of the year, the anticipation of football season nibbles at the corners of the mind of many. But then the calendar flips to September, and the Broncos consume all of it.
Green going long down the middle. He's got Caples there. Caught him at the 10 and scores the touchdown.
He's a very important piece if Boise State is going to get back into some type of national conversation.
5 years ago, you hardly even know what this sport is. You're standing as a first-team All-Mountain West player in the middle of an NFL venue as a champion.
Man, I can't describe how I'm feeling right now. It's a blessing, and I'm super grateful. Like you said it, man. 5 years ago, I didn't even know I was gonna be here. I looked like all that confetti, all that trophy, my teammates, my dad, everybody. It's a feeling that I cannot describe, and I'm blessed and grateful.
The last lap, everyone wants to go really fast, and we're really tired. Big crash in the last lap. Pretty terrifying. This one is pretty bad.
Court danger in the corners.
Very shocked. I usually don't win, and I won.
It's the fastest race in the country, officially. What's there not to love?
From the start line, the course is hot.
It's not a race, remember? They're here to push limits.
Oh no, it's the other McLaren. 720S.
All kinds of limits.
Last year they raised $650,000 for the Hunger Coalition, just changing thousands of people's lives. It's really cool. It's not just about going fast, it's about raising money and giving back to the community.
Not bad for free.
It's a thrill of a lifetime. It's incredible. When you come around that turn and it opens up and it's like you're flying.
Wrapped portion for that McLaren is probably going to be the fastest car at this event. I'm pretty excited to hear what he does.
Good air.
Or rather, what she did.
And I think I just got lucky and I got the fastest speed by like 1 mile per hour, and my dad was right behind me.
Alexandra Hayner drives every year.
2:18.87.
But really didn't consider where it was.
No, I didn't even think twice about it.
Until he had to tell people where he lived.
I was like, I live on the corner of Cinnamon and Sugar. You can't miss it. They're like, no, you don't. I'm like, yeah, I do. Where? I'm like, Cinnamon and Sugar, guys. It's, silly. I know.
But go ahead. You live on the corner of Cinnamon and Sugar.
Yeah.
Say it to Ray Ray's face.
Yes, I do.
In fact, it's sort of a spicy neighborhood.
Yeah, nutmeg's right there.
Nutmeg's there.
Sugar and spice and everything nice.
Yeah, everything nice, yes. Yes.
Meanwhile, more than a single bound across town, and more powerful than a locomotive.
Up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane.
No, it's just Lois Lane, Superman's girlfriend, which intersects with Iowa, where the Daily Planet reporter grew up. That one, you kind of have to think about. But on one corner in Kuna,
Not really.
you don't.
Do you know what you're standing under right now?
Or maybe
Just a street sign.
Yeah. What streets?
you do.
Maple and syrup.
So this is the corner of
Maple and syrup.
Maple syrup.
This event has grown every single year, and we have seen more and more people come down and bring their donations.
We're bringing in food. It's a food drive. I don't know where we're driving the food, but it's coming.
The generosity of people who come and donate through Seven Cares, it benefits the Salvation Army throughout Treasure Valley and Twin Falls as well, and so it really has an impact all over the Treasure Valley.
Drum roll, please. Another $5,000 from Idaho Central Credit Union. Thank you guys so much.